There are a couple ways of deleting a note. I can double click it and it will go away. I can option click it, the pencil turns to an eraser and it will go away. Or I can just hit backspace and it will go away. I can do a couple more things with the grabber tool. I can drag it, of course, just like I could with the pencil tool, but I can shift drag it and that will confine it to the same location. So if I try and drag left and right while holding shift down, I can only drag up and down. If I hold down option key, the hand turns to a plus sign and I can move up and down and make copies. And of course, shift and option means that I'm making copies confined to the same location. If I click somewhere other than a note, you'll see I have a cross there, and that allows me to select groups of notes. Basically allows me to drag out a marquee to select notes. If I select a note on the keyboard, all the notes of that pitch will be selected. In this case, all of the G4s will be selected. When I have the trim tool selected, I can trim the end to the grid in this case, or the beginning. If I go into slip mode, I can drag it wherever I want. Now here's something that works also with audio. You'll notice that the trim tool faces to the right at the beginning and faces to the left at the end. But what if I want to trim right at this point? I want to chop off the right-hand side. If I click here, the left side will be chopped off, which isn't what I wanted. If I want the right side chopped, I just press Option. The same thing happens over here. By pressing Option, the tool is reversed. So I go from a right trimmer to a left trimmer, bam, I just trimmed that note. If I switch to my grabber and press Control and Shift, you'll notice I have a knife. That will allow me to separate a note. Let me go into grid mode and drag in a note. Set my grid to 16th notes. And now let me choose the hand and let me separate, and I'll separate right here, Control and Shift. You'll notice that even though I'm separating here, it automatically locks to a grid. Whereas if I go into slip mode, I can do it wherever I want. Once I've separated a note into two regions, I can join it together again with Control Shift, and this time it shows me a Band-Aid. If it's not separated, it's a knife. If it is separated, it's a Band-Aid, and that does just what you'd expect. It joins the notes together. I can also separate a note at the selection point. If I press my selection tool and click right there and press Command E, I will separate the note right there. If my selection is right there, and if I'm in grid mode, I can only select on the grid, but again, Command E will separate. I can scrub MIDI when I'm in selection mode by holding down Control. Holding down Shift lets me select an area. If I hold down the Command key and the Shift key when the grabber is selected, I can change the velocity of a note. You see the upside down U? I just drag it, and the corresponding velocities will go up and down. One other thing I can do is mute a MIDI notes. If I don't want these notes to sound, I can select them and press Command M. Now those notes turn gray and they are muted. To unmute them, press Command M again. And many of these commands can be accessed from the right mouse menu. Mute notes, consolidate, so forth.